Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the ADDIE model of instructional design. So what is the ADDIE model? It is actually one model used by instructional designers and training developers to provide a systematic and adaptable guideline for building effective education, performance, and training programs. It is a 5-step cyclical process. Brief history: it was initially developed in Florida State University's Center for Educational Technology during World War II in the 1970s. During this time, the U.S. military developed strategies for training people to perform complex technical duties. And by the mid-1980s, however, steps were revised by practitioners. And eventually the model became more fluid and interactive in a cyclical practice. And so the version that we're familiar today has emerged from the 1980s. So how frequently is this model used? So the ADDIE model is actually one of the most popular design models given its structural integrity, flexibility, and simplicity. ADDIE actually remains a leading learning design methodology to this day. The ADDIE model is most often used effectively for the design of massive online courses. So what are the 5 steps to the ADDIE model? So step number 1 is analysis. So during this step, the overall educational goals are determined. We identify key stakeholder needs, such as knowledge or performance gaps. We determine optimal methods of content delivery and environment. Some of the questions that could come up include: what is education or instructional issue? What is the new desired behavior? What is the current state of the learning environment and learners' existing knowledge and skills? Who are the learners and what are their characteristics? And are there any learning constraints that currently exist? So those are some of the few questions to consider during the analysis portion. And in the design, we are creating a design proposal that is specific and systematic. So this is the second step of the ADDIE model. We identify learning objectives, content, lesson planning, media selection, and we develop assessment instruments such as pre-test, post-test, and evaluations. We create practice exercises, and we outline content and instructional strategies to match learning objectives. So going on with the third step is development. So during this stage, we create all assets for the educational program or activity. So this includes lecture slides, it could include graphics, animations, video, photographs, web-based tools, and text. We assemble content assets with consideration on how technology will be incorporated. Pilot testing can also be carried out by involving key stakeholders to aid the development of the instructional design and performance. The fourth step is implementation. We deliver or distribute the educational program or activity to the intended audience. We consider training and preparation for facilitators to cover the course curriculum, method of delivery, learning outcomes, and testing procedures. And finally, on step 5 is evaluation. During this step, we ensure learning needs have been met, and we assess effectiveness, including changes in clinical practice, behavior, and/or patient outcomes. So what are some of the ADDIE model benefits? One of the benefits is that it has a flexible structure that allows it to be applied to various educational environments, whether digital or traditional. Inevitably, the ADDIE model allows educators and educational designers the flexibility to a systematic approach for the development of multifaceted e-learning. It is preferred for the development of virtual reality commands and is considered a suitable design and implementation of mobile learning by increasing learners' positive attitudes and perceptions on utilizing technology for educational purposes. And what is one of the ADDIE model drawbacks? One drawback is that it's characterized by a relatively rigid structure, which can potentially limit the creativity of educators and programmers. So in other words, the movement from one stage to another is flexible, but the movement is strictly circular. This does not work well without predefined content and without complete prior analysis. This creates restrictions for educators who do not consider that learners must follow strict steps in order to achieve effectiveness in their learning. And here are the references for this PowerPoint. Thank you so much.